So recently, I've watched Trigun and enjoyed my time. It has something about it where it keeps me going. I enjoyed how situations go and how lighthearted it can get. As Trigun is a sci-fi action western about a vicious man. He's malicious, a villain who wants to waste all those that oppose him and flatten the entire cities for fun. This is Vash the Stampede, the human typhoon, the most feared man in no man's land. With a bounty of 60 billion double dollops, he is not what people think he is. He's not violent, murderous, out for blood. If anything, a man that is actually usually falls into situations, most times to protect others and ones who would die without someone helping them. As he wanders into towns, becoming friends with locals and helping them by settling situations, just wondering, heading his way. Now, here's Marilyn Strife and Millie Thompson, two Bermeladina's Insurance Society representative investigating claims made by the human typhoon. They meet Vash without knowing that that's the man that they're looking for. Now I think if anything, with the way that everyone has portrayed and described the human typhoon, they've been caught off guard by the juxtaposition of Vash's. But don't worry, we see them realize later on, but as the plot heads on and goes from the start. Vash enters the towns with or without the insurance girls, but they usually are on their way to help with claims of others have in the towns that Vash sees. Something bad happens, and Vash usually steps up and settles the situation in the town, and defeats the crooks or whatever happens in that specific episode in that situation. It could be simply from anything from crooks from cowboys trying to take over a town, on robbers, and even people trying to take over a ship. It depends on whatever the situation is and if Vash is there. But Vash doesn't kill. The biggest effect of the fights is his philosophy. Vash lives in the code to not kill, even the worst of the worst. Thou shalt not kill. We get to see that issue further on, but as of now, it has no effects on us. On his trails, he also finds one of my favorite characters, a pastor named of Wolfwood, Christian, that takes care of orphans. But just as to the design, I love his look. I love how it kind of just contrasts with Vash's look, as Vash is more gaudy, but you know, he has its own swagger. Well, Wolfwood is more modest in his appearance. It's more of a simple look with just that cross that he carries, the Peacemaker. And looking at his episode that he debuted in episode 9, Murder Machine, when Wolfwood and Vash pretty much just help the people, and we can see their dynamics is pretty much very similar to one, but different ideologies in that mindset, where Vash is more thou shalt not kill. Wolfwood has seen a reason to kill. And even with that, we can also see the effects of Vash's ideology and philosophy in the mindset of just thou shalt not kill, and you can see it with his scars. We've seen it all around his body, and especially in this scene. There's also a good video about the philosophy. I'm going to go into my own depth of it, but if you really want to watch something else after this, here's the video. Anyways, for the next few episodes, we see them two and the insurance girls pretty much tagging along in a lot of different situations that do happens, mostly because of what happens with Vash finding Knife. Now this is where it gets more of a complicated situation, as we find out that Vash and Knives know of each other. They're brothers, twin brothers. But pretty much that's going to be a side tangent later on. But if Vash sees life and all, just know that Knives is cold-blooded in that factor. He doesn't see what Vash sees. But during this situation,
the only thing that grows is your useless sentimentalism. You're still a good-for-nothing, pathetic wimp!
we also see Knives' right-hand man Legato, as Legato and Vash have a little situation that happens as Vash is being hunted down, and showing the power that these two have by the July incident. The biggest effect of this that happens is that Vash's arm gets swapped with Legato's. If anything. If anything, in my mind, I see this as more of just a message to Vash of, you're gonna have to come back for the arm, because, it was swapped. The main story is now that Vash must find his brother Knives, as now Knives is trying to get Vash to come to him to get him back on his side. But yet we don't know until now. Now, before the main plot of the story continues, Trigun goes into a side story, a backstory of what happened to these boys and what is the big reason of this. Here are spoilers, but as of anything, I am not giving any spoiling warnings because of an old anime. If you haven't watched this, or you're watching this now, you can stop now, please. But here's the rundown of what I've seen in this backstory. Pretty much, we've learned that Vash and Knives are actually plant-based creatures on a human ship known as the Project Seed. As these humans out of Earth are now trying to colonize the galaxy to keep their species alive. And during that time, they have a caretaker named Rem Severin. Rem is kind-hearted. A lady that teaches the boys about nurture, mainly to Vash's Knives, takes them for granted and that way. We can also see them in the rooms with them, treated as children, but learning about what's happening in the ship. We can also see them learning about what happened to the humans. And we can definitely see something about Knives where there's something about him where he doesn't really respect of what happens to the humans. Rem usually shows the recreation room as the
Captain?
I hate to say it, but it's true. Our young race believed the land and resources were unlimited, which led to gradual destruction. By the time they realized what they had done, it was too late. The planet could no longer take the abuse.
If that's true, why did they come up with the idea to set this project in motion?
The need to survive.
Exactly. The behavior of clinging to life till the verge of death is intrinsic to all organisms. Survival instincts take over, dismissing shame in order to live.
But is it right to live if it means such huge sacrifices?
We make the smallest sacrifice we can think of at the time. Unlike the other organisms on the planet, we possess logic, the knowledge to minimize the sacrifice.
Also, as human beings,
with resentment builds in him over time, and we even see Rem defending them when they were fetuses from being destroyed in the flashback in that moment. We happen to see them in their current style of hair, but from that aside, when Knives was cutting his hair, we can also see the bite of an apple. I think this is symbolism of Eve in the Bible, as biting the apple has shown them the reality of the world, showing them the 7 deadly sins and what is the world at that point. But in this sense, we're seeing that he's lost his humanity. He's bitten the forbidden fruit in that. And we can definitely see this in the recreation room again, as Vash is trying to help the butterfly and the spider, getting the butterfly released from the spider's web. We see them back in the recreation room, where Vash is seeing a butterfly stuck on a spider's web and trying to help the butterfly get free. But Knives pretty much just kills both, with the reasoning and the mindset of, if you let the butterfly go, the spider would starve. And if anything, it shows two mindset differs. Would Knives be wrong in his reasoning by the way of humans thinking, by the captain said? It is in the path.
We make the smallest sacrifice we can think of at the time. Unlike the other organisms on the planet, we possess logic, the knowledge to minimize the sacrifice.
also as human beings,
the least resistance, because since we don't have the hindsight, do we know that the spider would have starved? Do we know would the butterfly just be someone else's treat? If Vash is not there to monitor, we don't know in that situation. In a fit of anger, Vash tackles Knives, and we see Knives being startled by this, because seeing that it is his own flesh and blood, his own twin brother, getting mad over this. And as the ship goes, the crewmate starts crumbling all around. It starts to become more crazy as more and more of what is happening. As some see it as more of it being Vash's and Knives' fault, some just see it as just all of these things happening and occurring, and we can see Rem becoming defensive for them as a gun is pointed at them, and choosing either to live or die. It's the same situation as what happened earlier in a flashback. We see as the captain releases the valve as an escape so Rem doesn't get killed. We can see dives behind him later on. Knives decides to shoot the captain, as Knives has made it a secret plan to let the plant-based life live in these situations. As we see the ship pretty much going haywire and what is happening, we also see Rem getting Knives and Vash into a ship, and, if anything, asking Vash to watch over his brother.
With us, Rem, please don't leave us!
I'm sorry, Vash. If Alex were still alive, I believe in my heart that he would do the same thing. Vash, take care of Knives!
As they crash down to Gunsmoke, they travel around Gunsmoke to find the missing parts of the ship, as this is just a conglomeration of both flashback episodes of then and now. Pretty much what happens is after the crash, we see them grow up and more just, looking for the parts, and pretty much find the iconic gun, which is
My leg, it hurts. Why? There's so much pain in my leg. Did you shoot me? Did you actually shoot me? I can't believe this. Did you really shoot me? No! Wait! Bash!
also a twin, lol. As years pass after the incident, we see Wolfwood looking for Vash and simply finding him, but as a new alias. Those 3 years he's been living in a quiet town. We learn Wolfwood is working for Knives, and
it's not exactly fair to them.
Hey, I don't want you killing anyone, alright?
Why don't you just ask me not to breathe?
Thou shalt not kill, remember? What kind of churchman are you, anyway?
Whoa, deja vu, I've heard that before. Now you're starting to sound like your old self.
Time to kill! Showtime!
episode 23, but I also learned as he felt to kill Knives in that situation, Knives giving him a second chance and to look after his brother. Pretty much in Wolfwood's backstory, it is because that Wolfwood was part of an abusive orphanage, that he killed the person that runned it, and then he was pretty much taken in by Knives to pretty much just become a skilled gunner. But I think one of the most important episodes that is in this entire series is this fight with Legato. Legato is pretty much stalking Vash, as his ability to pretty much make everyone stop, can either change their mind or just make them pause, is in a show. But to keep things simple, Legato wants Vash to kill him, in the sense of him breaking his own code of not killing anyone. As the fight goes on, we see Vash trying to run away, but as more and more, or to make Legato stop, Legato captured the insurance girls. And pretty much as the insurance girls are pretty much captured on the ground, it is Vash's decision. Is he going to let the girls die because of him, or is he going to kill Legato to save them? And Vash makes the decision. Vash decides it's to save the girls.
Won't work forever.
As we journey through our lives, we must always search for ways to make everyone happy.
Don't force your way of life upon others.
No one has the right to take the life of another.
Don't tell me your dreams in a world like this.
If you keep your vision clear, you will always find the future.
And kill Legato. And if anything that we've seen in the next episode is how destructive he is. Of how, as he saved the girls, he's killed someone. And with that, we also see how he is treating it. He's just become more bedridden. Even though it does happen because of his damages, it's his psyche that is the problem. He has just become a man of nothingness. But I think one of the more important things is Vash is captured by truckers because of him being the human typhoon and them wanting retribution for their families and their towns. And a big thing happens where Earl pretty much shows compassion and shows that people can change by their actions of what they've done. And by the end, Vash gains a new sense of life by the perimeters of how people think, and as long as they understand their actions and be redeemed if they learn from their consequences. Vash says this and pretty much just becomes a new man, and now he's on the chase to look for knives. And now, figuring what's gonna happen, he is on track to look for knives, taking Wolfwood's Punisher with them as a memento, as now he wants to settle the score with knives. As another episode of being a flashback happens, we finally see this happen. Knives and Vash finally meet up. As we see in the fight with the July incident, we also see Vash somehow out controlling that weapon that he has struggled with the longest. And also, I totally forgot, Knives also has that weapon. I did tell you, but it's another day for this. But pretty much Vash defeats him by doing this. Well, not really. They're both still alive at that point, but somehow Ash beats him by using the Punisher and at the end getting his gun back to shoot Knives in the knee and shooting him in the leg. Now, finally, Vash has defeated Knives. Of course, he doesn't kill him because it's still in his moral code, but finding that he's the guidance of Rem to figure his ways, and now at the end to become his own person.
But from now on, I'll look to my own words for guidance.
Hey, it's Jarf here. God, sorry. But, thank you for watching. I especially hope that you enjoyed this review. I really wouldn't say it's a review. I would just say that, always the first part is just, kind of giving you like the clip notes of what happens and, giving you the spoilers. But if anything, what I would want to just say about Trigun is I absolutely enjoyed my time with it. I don't know why. I just enjoy westerns, but never like the live action ones. I always liked how animation has done it, but I think the best thing about the whole entire anime is just the philosophy of Vash and how he tries to keep a happy demeanor about everything that happens to him. And I think that, a lot of people in the world should do that. And also, stan Millie, because, stan culture, but, I love Millie. Millie's my favorite character, I'm not gonna lie. If you do watch this, and I know I totally brushed off the insurance girls as just, being these characters are just, they need to save them. Oh, what's gonna happen? But more, I'm being for real with you. Ooh, I purposely did that because I seriously want you to watch this and gain appreciation for a lot of these characters. There's a reason why I don't say these things, because I want y'all to actually watch and enjoy this. And I always joke about the spoilers because, it always happens, but I think if anything, please go and watch this. You can probably find this wherever you can. Enjoy the 26 episodes. There's a lot of other anime that you can watch that are way longer, and people will tell you to watch that more. I think this is a fair bargain. It's 26 episodes. Nothing so bad to watch. But yep, this is Jarvis Alley. Have a good day. Have a good night. Wherever you're watching this, I love you. And make sure that, you brush your teeth. Because, I want you to smile.